one-page guideline for the North Carolina Assembly on how we should be really dealing with conflict. And so I left that in there for everybody to review as well. I think it's also important to keep ourselves abreast of that. So a couple of, any questions on it? Okay. So I want to get some other business out of the way. And, hopefully we as an assembly can work together to start getting some of the wounds that have taken place in certain areas over the past number of months, and we can start to heal our assembly and move forward. So some of the conflicts that have taken place within our assembly have gone up to the Federation. They've done some of their own investigation. And so Anna has shared with me her thought on some of this. And so I want to address, going back to probably the meeting of May 7th, with some of the confusion around incorporations, non-for-profits, dealing with Nethi and the Rohit Valley. And what was determined is that the food church was in the process of correcting their status. And there was a delay in the time frame of actually seeing the change take place. And for that piece, it's been determined that there was no wrong. There was no negative or lie around that piece. It was being done. And on behalf of the assembly, I am apologizing to both Rohit and Nethi Valley for the confusion and how they were treated with that particular topic. So hopefully, this apology will help the healing process of our assembly. I don't know if Rohit is on the call or not. I know, Nethi, you are. And I hope that you can accept our apology.
Oh, may I?
Yes, go ahead.
So I really don't want to beat a dead horse, and I really want to see us move forward, but I really have to stand up and say, I'm, with all due respect, I have to disagree with that apology, because we have much evidence that on May 20th, they weren't ever going to unincorporate their business. And then on May 28th, they had received some help and found out how to do that. And then they also on May, on the 31st, signed their dissolution papers, and it was recorded or published on the Secretary of State site on June 5th or 6th. That was well after our meetings. So yes, the intent was to dissolve. I would agree with that. But I will incorporate all of this timelines and dates in my witness testimony in form of affidavit that I'll be submitting. But I just want to go on record that I don't want to start another battle. I don't want to do any of that. I just want to go on record saying I don't really agree with that, and I yield.
Okay, thank you for that. And everybody is entitled to however they're going to feel. But on behalf of the assembly, I, as the coordinator, am going to do the things that we need to do to heal our assembly and move us all forward. And like I said, the Federation did their due diligence. And I tell you, the Federation looks at more things than we think they look at. And so I respect Anna. I respect the work that she does. I respect the team and how they do their due diligence, and I respect that. And with that being said, again, Neethi, we apologize. I apologize, and hopefully you accept our apology. Do you accept our apology?
Mayor,
Yes, please.
I guess I'm kind of confused about, I never understood what the lie was. So the main problem I've had with this entire situation is I was accused of bearing false witness with no evidence to that effect. And I get Gwen's upset about something. I'm still not really clear what, but I pulled a transcript from that meeting and I never lied. So, and it went on for 8 weeks and I never said a word. So I would just like to say that. And, you know, I don't sit around holding, hard feelings or ill will about anybody, but what I do realize is there is a lot of ignorance here. And there were no facts presented, and there's still no facts being presented. So I'm not sure what Gwen's talking about, but I know that there's no evidence. So that's all. I yield.
Okay, let's move on. Next thing is our, I put the one-page guideline to the North Carolina Assembly and how really we should be handling situations. So this week, and you'll all get a copy of them, I received, not directly from you individuals here in the Assembly, but through Anna, 7 different testimonies. And I've been going through them, reading them the last couple of days. And I want everybody that is involved with writing those testimonies that I will be scheduling a meeting with you, along with our Marshal at Arms, because both of us are involved in some of your issues. And we'll start off with having possibly a witness, or we'll figure out what and how we should exactly do it. But I would like to sit down with each of you who have sent the testimonies in. I am going to be traveling Wednesday and Thursday, but I'll be back on Friday. So I'll try to get scheduled as many of them on Friday as we possibly can. And the idea is to get together. If there's lack of communication or whatever the feelings that folks have, we should be following our process, getting together, working together as living men and women to work through the issues. We all have different types of personalities, and you know, we have to learn to get along with each other and accept on both sides. So let's start the process of doing that, and hopefully we can get you know, some of these, whatever wounds are there behind. Some things we may not be able to, but you know, we can't be everybody's cup of tea, but we can start to work together to heal things. Last night in the webinar, I think it was right around the 10:30 mark, Anna and Terry were talking about the assemblies and the conflicts that are taking place. And by the way, it's not just North Carolina. There's a lot of assemblies that are having a lot of issues, a lot of problems. And one of the things that she mentioned is we, as living men and women, individuals, we shouldn't be the enemies. We should not be picking sides here and dividing our assembly. We spent, a good amount of time talking about the de facto government and the issues that we have. That's the enemy, if you want to, get right down to it. We all broke away from being a U.S. citizen, out to sea, came back to the land and the soil, and we're all here for the same basic reasons. And we all come from different backgrounds, different experiences. And we've got to realize that we're different. But, the discussion that we had tonight, was really a beautiful discussion if you were listening and paying attention. And I would recommend we go back and maybe listen to it, because it was a great example of how we can be different and how we can have those opposing, opinions or ideas, but be able to talk them out and, bring things back to the committees for more work, so on and so forth. So, we'll get through these testimonies. We'll work things out the best that we can. You're not going to maybe like some things, and I'm probably not going to like some things. But at the end of the day, we got to work together. We have a tremendous amount of work to do. And if we're going to be divided, we will never get any of the work done. Then it goes back to a question I asked a number of weeks ago. Why are we here? If we're going to fight amongst ourselves all the time, why are we here? There's no sense in being here. It's a waste of time. So I'm going to leave you with that thought. And, hopefully the healing starts tonight and we start to move things forward to build one of the best states of the union here on North Carolina. So with that, I yield.
I second that.
John Scardina, you have your hand up.
Thanks, Jeanette. Yeah, I just wanted to say, Dominic, I'd like to be present for those two testimonies that mentioned my name, please. I yield.
That's fair. That's fair.
May I? That's Gwen.
Yeah, Gwen, go ahead.
I would also like to be present on the testimonies that mention my name.
All right, fair.
Becky Ravenbark.
Yes, I'd like to know about the so-called 22 objections. Are those going to be handled too? Since we're going to go over the testimonies, are we going to go over them objections for March?
I'm going to deal with the testimonies, the documents that were sent in. That's what I'm going to focus in on.
Okay, because they have to do with those objections also.
Well, feel free to bring whatever it is that you want to bring, or send to me in advance, so that you can take a look at what it is you're going to bring, because I may not be prepared to be able to address those issues, but I'll address whatever it is that's on your mind. I will.
Thank you, Dominic. Anyone else have any questions? Okay. So as always, thank you for your time tonight. If anyone wants to add to this agenda, contact myself or Dominic by the end of the day on Sunday, so we can add you to the Tuesday agenda. And please, as always, again, give us a topic. Sometimes the topic will be something that should be addressed in committee before it's brought to the General Assembly.